Greetings, and once again in peace and good from all of us here at the Shrine of St. Anthony here in Ellicott City, Maryland, and from our beautiful chapel today. I'd like to offer us in this kind of continuing series of reflections on the Sunday readings. This week we're up the 19th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And as we've been doing in recent weeks, to look at maybe one of the readings that might not get much attention in the homily that you hear that day. So today we'll focus upon the first reading that you'll hear this coming Sunday, and it's from the first book of Kings. Elijah went a day's journey into the desert until he came to a broom tree and sat beneath it. He prayed for death, saying, "This is enough, O Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers." He lay down and fell asleep under the broom tree. But then an angel touched him and ordered him to get up and eat. Elijah looked, and there at his head was a hearth cake and a jug of water. After he ate and drank, he lay down again. But the angel of the Lord came back a second time, touched him, and ordered, "Get up and eat, else the journey will be too long for you." He got up and ate and drank. Then, strengthened by that food, he walked 40 days and 40 nights to the mountain of God, Horeb. In the celebration of Passover, there are a number of cups of wine that are blessed and drunk. But at the very end of the celebration, there's one cup that is filled but not drunk. And it's offered in memory of Elijah. And in fact, in the celebration, the people, children especially, would go to the door of the house, open it, and invite Elijah to come. And that cup that is prepared for Elijah is not drunk. It's left. Why is that? It's a powerful reminder for the Jewish people that for them, the Messiah has not come. They are still waiting. They are still hoping. There's a sense, if you will, of emptiness in their lives as they await, hopefully, the coming of the Messiah. Right? Elijah has that role within the Jewish tradition, and you might remember from the gospel stories, Jesus saying, "Who do people say I am?" And some think that he is Elijah, who has come to announce and proclaim the coming of the Messiah. As we know, as we believe, Jesus was himself the Messiah. But the story of Elijah is a fascinating one, and the reading we heard today is quite helpful, especially when we hold it in the context of Elijah's role in Passover, as well as perhaps our own place in time and space. The story of Elijah is quite fascinating. Before the story that we just heard, there's that famous story of Elijah going up on the mountain, Mount Carmel, right? And contending with the prophets of the false gods, right? And Elijah wins the contest. There's a bit of a contest there, and Elijah wins. God proves that the God of Israel is the true God, and that the God Baal is a false god. But even though he has this great success, there's an evil king, there's an evil queen. The people of Israel are not faithful. Most of them follow after the false gods. Elijah feels like a failure. And what does he do? He journeys into the desert and lays down and says, "Lord, this is enough. Take my life." Emptiness, lack of hope, despair. Right? But God provides. God sends the angel. God brings him simple food, bread, water, and invites him to continue his journey. What is that journey? 40 days. That's a number we're all familiar with. A 40-day journey to Mount Horeb, the place where Moses went and encountered God. And indeed, Elijah will encounter God on that mountain. That wonderful story of the earthquake and the storm and the wind, and God is in none of that. The New American Bible translation is a little weak here. A better translation says that God appears in the silence. It's in silence, that kind of strange notion. In the silence, God speaks to Elijah and tells him, now's the time for your last mission, if you will. And he goes and he anoints the new good kings, at least for a while, of Egypt, of Israel and Judah, and hands on his mantle of prophecy to the one who will take his place, Elisha. And then the fiery chariot comes down, takes him home. Right? Elijah didn't need to wait for the Messiah. Elijah was taken home. That's a wonderful, powerful story. And I think it says something to us as well. We live in a world that, at least in many ways, has a Christian shape, Christian form, right? But those of us who seek to live according to the Christian tradition, those of us who seek to shape our lives by Christian values, often look at the world and see ourselves as maybe not being very successful, that we're maybe losing the battle, as it were. We might feel that same emptiness that Elijah felt, that same lack of hope, that same sense of despair that Elijah knew. But as we'll hear in the gospel on Sunday, just like the angel came to bring simple bread and simple waters to sustain Elijah on his final journey, the Lord Jesus gives us heavenly bread, heavenly drink to sustain us on our journey. And even though it seems like we're going nowhere, right? We live in a time where we see declining attendance at Mass, Catholic Masses. Right? There was a recent survey done. Only about a third of Catholics believe in the real presence in the Eucharist. It seems at times that the faith is fading. But just like there was a faithful remnant in the time of Elijah, we seek to be that same faithful remnant, the place where the Lord continues to live in the world. And the Lord feeds us, sustains us on the journey with his own body, with his own blood, and will stay with us till we complete our journey, to our pilgrimage, to that moment when the metaphorical fiery chariot comes for us and leads us to our true home. We ask the Lord to continue to sustain us and nurture us on that true bread of life. May God give you peace.